Alrighty, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter, and I welcome you back to a Mango Daily. I haven't done one of these in a while, but we do have a trade setup on our hands over here. A really easy, manageable trade setup, and I do want to talk about this before I have to leave for the gym. So this is going to be as quick as I can keep it. I do want to talk about the XRP trade as well. Just going to give you guys an update on that for those of you who missed the live stream. So yeah, let's dive right into it. So before I start though, I do want to emphasize very important to emphasize this, that we are going to be putting on this trade against the trend. Okay, if you go on over to the dashboard at app.mangoresearch.co, again, the free version is enough for those of you who are trading as a hobby. But just looking at this over here, right, you can see that the trend is short across all time frames: the 4 hour, the 12 hour, the daily, the 2 day, the 4 day, and the weekly. Now we don't have the bi-weekly and the monthly trends over here, but that's our cyclical positions, right? And the bi-weekly and the monthly is still intact, so we don't have to worry in terms of our spot cyclical positions over there. We are fine. It's our leverage trades that we have to be very careful about at the moment, and knowing that we are trading against the trend, we have to size accordingly. So when you see this and you are going against a trend, if you want to, like how I am going to at the moment, I have to use this to check my bias and say, okay, Sean, you want to do this, that's completely fine, but look at the red here. The red is a scary color, right? Unless you're trading the direction of the red. So with that, because I know I have all of this against me, I'm going to size down accordingly. And I implore you guys to do so as well. This has kept me safe over the long term because nothing is certain in this space. Why I like this trade though is because it is so easy to manage it. If I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to know very easily and very quickly. And more importantly, I like this setup a lot. We've traded this so many times in the past, where we have this falling channel on over to high time frame support, and then we look for it to break to the upside. And this high time frame support over here, guys, is our bi-weekly dynamic, right? I'm just going to quickly show it to you guys over here. Clean up the mess first. And again, this has been like proving support throughout the cycle. Okay, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here. Right now, will it break this time? It could. Am I going to bet against that probability? No, I'm going to bet with that probability, right? So we do have high time frame trend going for us, right? Over here, you can't see that high time frame trend, but it's there. We can see it over here, right? We can see the bi-weekly dynamic saying, hey, you have the go on my end. But this is for your spot trades. We are putting on a leverage trade over here. So we got to be a tad bit careful with our sizing. So going back on over to the chart over there, going to switch back on over to the daily. And how am I looking at this? Again, falling channel, okay? Looking for a move back to the top of the range. And if you set up your trade like this, right, where we'll talk about stop loss and invalidation very soon, but let's say you're entering somewhere around here, right? You get an average bid of around 103.7, 103.5, doesn't really matter. The way I would look to take profits on this, guys, is somewhere around here first. Okay, somewhere around, let's say 115 to 116, you want to be targeting these highs here and watch how price reacts over there. That's still a good 12.5% move over there. You have a RR of around 2.0, right? Again, depending on how you enter, how well you enter, how quickly you enter. That's kind of why I wanted to do this video quickly before I leave for the gym. You likely want to wait though for the next 4 hour candle close, because you might get a pullback somewhere to around 103. I wouldn't get too nitpicky, because the real goal over here is for us to watch how price reacts at around 116 and then gun maybe for the move all the way to the top of the range, which will give us that nice juicy 20% move. Add some leverage onto that and you have a really good trade on your hands, right? So that is what we're looking for. How that plays out though is gonna happen through multiple ways. We could either see a quick move, high, low, and back to the top of the range, or Bitcoin could spend some time over here, okay? And that's important to acknowledge, because how you set up your stop loss it's going to matter. If you guys set your stop loss too low over here and Bitcoin does something like this, you could get wicked out of your position, and then we could see Bitcoin break to the upside. Okay, so you need to be okay setting your stop loss underneath over here. Now remember, okay, and if you guys are in the Mango C program, guys, just simply use your Mango risk management indicator, Mango risk management tool to set up your position sizing, your stop loss and validation, etc. But for the rest of you, you have to really get this into your mindset. Do not use your stop loss as your invalidation. You need to be comfortable manually exiting unless your size is so high where you need the price to move immediately in your direction, and you can't afford to wait for a manual exit. You need to get out, right? Because you're like, oh, if this goes down and I can't exit manually, if I'm away from my computer or price moves too fast, I'm wrecked. Don't recommend trading that risky in crypto. You don't need to. Crypto has enough volatility where we can make really good money without that kind of risk. So what you could do though, if you are putting on size that is manageable for you, okay, manageable for you through manual invalidation, but you still have size, right? You do have to acknowledge that you may not see liquidity where you want to have liquidity, in that if price actually does start closing here and you do want to exit over here, you may not see the kind of liquidity on the order book, because you're going to see bids start getting pulled. Now this is Bitcoin, so you don't have to worry all that much about it, but just as an exercise for your altcoin trades, right? You want to always keep this in mind. You may want to say, you know what, I'm going to exit here. Okay, I'm going to exit here and I'm going to reassess, right? I'm putting on my trade saying that I fully know that price could come down here and bounce without me, but I'm not going to take that risk because I think there's a high probability that if price does come down over here, it just keeps going down. I don't want to take that risk. I'm going to sell into liquidity. Me personally, I'm not going to be looking to exit this unless I see actual daily candle closes under these lows over here at around 99,000-ish, right? I think the low came in at around 98,892. So let's just say 99,000, right? We close dailies underneath there. That's not a good look, and I don't want to be part of that trade because, again, guys, I'm trading against the trend, and I have to acknowledge that I do have the higher time frame trend going in my favor, but not the low time frame trend. What I'm playing over here is for the high time frame trend to cascade onto the low time frames, and we slowly start seeing that dashboard profile change. So we could do it that way, right? Position low initially, and then as we start seeing confirmation on the 4-hour, the 12-hour, right, we can start adding, right? The 4-hour flips green. Not good enough for me personally. I know Krisha's a lot more aggressive there and she'll like that. I'd like to see the 12-hour flip green as well, right? So if we see the 4-hour flip, we're like, okay, cool, things are playing out now. Then we see the high low and it coincides with the 12-hour flipping green, or maybe neutral is good enough for you guys because it goes red, neutral, green, right? So then you can add to your position, and then you look for that next move. Maybe 2 ads are enough. Maybe you want the 3rd ad. Honestly, this trade over here, I think 2 ads are enough, because if this moves, it's going to move to the top of the range so quick that by the time you're looking for your 3rd ad, you're already looking to take profits, guys. So I don't see it, right? So yeah, the trade setup over here, really easy. You're looking to set up for the top of the range and then eventually setting up for a trend trade to around 130, 140-ish, right? So you don't want to take your entire position off. Taking some profits over here at around 117 is going to be very important, because Bitcoin could see some pressure over there. Maybe you look to reposition over here if you're that bullish, or maybe you're like, all right, I'm taking the rest of my trade off. I think Bitcoin rolls over. We don't know what's going to happen. That's how we approach things at Mango. You guys really need to understand that, right? We are trading the high time frame, long-term trend, which has been extremely successful, knowing that there's chaos in between. Similarly, when you pick a low time frame trend, you pick 2 inflection points and know that there's chaos in between, and you're trading between those inflection points. Now, if you guys are looking to put on this trade, Bitfinex has reactivated their crazy trading bonus program. Now, they wanted to do this earlier, but I told them to hold off because I wasn't putting on any trades myself. So there was no point doing this if I wasn't putting on trades myself. Now I was talking to Wolby about this too. I'm going to be temporarily stepping on the aggression. Why? Not because I am so sure that we are going to be bullish, but because we are at an inflection point where my aggression can be de-aggressed, if that's a word. I can like exit my aggression very, very quickly, right? I could be wrong, and risk very less. We're at that kind of inflection point where, oh, you know what, the aggression did not work out, but if it does work out, I'm going to be rewarded handsomely. So yeah, BitConnect over here. You guys can find the link in the description below. Literally free money for your trades. It's going to buffer against your losses as usual, and also pad your winners. 500 you get 100, 1000 you get 200. So that's literally 20% buffer on your trades, right? Great way to practice your leverage trading as well. You'll find the link in the description below, or the mango.com/bitunix should work as well. Now I want to give you guys an update on the XRP trade. A lot of people have been asking me about this, and guys, this is a very, very simple mango trade. Okay, a family member actually asked me about XRP recently, and said, "Hey Sean, should I invest in XRP because I watched your live stream?" And I was like, "Hey, you watched my live stream? That's that's freaking amazing. You guys should watch that live stream, by the way. Lots of educational golden nuggets. But at the same time, you gotta start questioning things when family members are watching your live stream, right?" So I had multiple family members actually asked me about XRP, but this family member over here said, "Sean, should I invest?" And I said, these were the words: "Sean, you're expecting XRP to make its way all the way up to $5 to $6, right? That's what I garner from your chart." And I said, "I'm not expecting anything. I am trading the probability over here, because if things work out, it's gonna be a nice juicy win. If things don't work out, I lose very little. And if I take enough of these trades in the long term, I am gonna be very, very successful." And that's how I have become very, very successful. Not because I expect something to happen and I'm betting everything on that happening. No, because I'm expecting that if I take enough of these kind of trades, where it's such a good setup, sitting on a proven strategy where I'm buying the bi-weekly dynamic, see a big move to the top, to the upside, right? Again, over here, we waited patiently for the bi-weekly dynamic. I'm going to be looking for a big move to the upside. If it doesn't happen, I'll exit underneath here, right? Over the long term, if I take enough of these trades, I'm going to win. Now, I want you guys to understand that too. We don't know if the bi-weekly dynamic is some magic level that God himself is holding up, right? We don't know. Maybe it is. But if it closes underneath over here, guys, I'll take the loss. I'm okay losing, man. I'm okay losing. I am the best loser in crypto. But when I get my wins, it's going to be a huge win like this, right? But the way you guys may want to play it, depending on sizing again, is take some profits at around 3.5, which is the top of the range. I know you guys aren't. I know the XRP community isn't going to do that. You guys aren't going to take profits over here. So who am I kidding? But at around $5 to $6, guys, consider taking some profits, right? Just cash in a little bit. You can buy back cheaper to help the community when they need you. You need that support. They need you to come in and support price. You'll be there, right? And again, over here, I explained my entire thesis on XRP in the live stream, but again, I have targets at around 5, 11-ish, right? So let's say 5.5, 11.5, and then somewhere around 22-ish. This is lining up with Krisha's target. But remember, guys, things can stop halfway, right? In between, we don't know. And I explained how a situation like this could happen, or a situation like this could happen. We don't know. We're going to take it step by step. We're going to be smart traders and investors here, looking towards the long term, because regardless of what XRP does in the midterm to short term, right, you need to be able to increase your stash of XRP. And the best way to do that is to capitalize on the volatility. So if you can read that, hey, price is not going to go to my target, but instead first come down and then go to my target, take advantage of that, right? So again, here the bi-weekly dynamic level is coming at 2.2 and 2.3. So we close underneath there. I'll be looking to exit and reposition somewhere else. Now this arrow over here, don't let this scare you. I think that's only going to play out if you close underneath the red box, not the dynamic. The red box is Really important that XRP holds. We'll talk about that if we come to that. I don't think that's going to be a concern for now. And similarly with Bitcoin, quick summary on the trade setup. Looking to buy this daily or 12-hour setup over here, falling channel onto support. Higher low is what we're looking at over here at 102.966 candle close, but we're hunting for the high low. We don't know if it's a high low there, right? We could come in and put in a low high here and then another low. We don't know. This consolidation at the bottom of the channel could play out in multiple ways before breaking up. Just keep that in mind. It's not going to be the most perfect setup. The perfect structure. If it ends up being that way, brilliant. But just expect chaos. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Keep it mango, keep it easy, keep it stress free. Ciao.